Welcome to Oh Brother, a podcast of three brothers trying to figure it all out, with your hosts Brandon, Colin, and Aaron. On this week's show, Rocks for Days. Hola.
Hello.
What's going on?
Oh, just getting online.
Getting on the lines.
Yeah, getting all the setup, and gonna be getting my desk reorganized here probably later because it's messy. But other than that, that's what we got going on.
Not a whole lot. Brandon, what's new?
It's Thanksgiving break now. Hooray.
Hooray!
We did it. We made it to break. Wowza.
Did the break start Monday, or like did it start today? Is it one of those school districts where it's like we can go Monday?
Yeah. So we went Monday and Tuesday, but we are taking off bonus next Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're taking a full week. Yeah, we're extending on the back end, just so we can have some time to recover from some stuff, If anybody does that, they can, they have things happen or whatever, so we have a couple extra days off. So
Good.
Oh, okay.
till next Wednesday.
I like it.
Yeah, which is handy. I'm just glad it's break time. It's very.
How's it been?
Well, and it's the 2-day week is hard, right? Because it's okay, we got trying to time all your stuff out, so you just kind of get to a reasonable stopping point for a week, because you don't want to all right, today we're going to start that. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. When I see you again in 7 days, I will pick up on. Oh,
Wait.
darn it. So, kind of timed it out. Got to some stopping points today. And so it was pretty chill. Just kind of pretty chill day. We didn't really do a whole bunch. Just kind of got done to some stopping points and stuff like that. So, pretty good, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But it's everybody's favorite science unit. Once again, listeners, that's right. It's geology time. What? Yes.
Yeah.
Rocks for days. That's what's happening right now. So, doing that, talking about classifications of igneous rocks. Bam.
Where will the students be digging their holes?
That is to be determined. I do, however, I finally remembered to requisition my school budget this last week. So we're going to...
Anyway.
It's the requisition that I'm supposed to do at the beginning of the school year. And I forgot. Because I don't need to buy stuff, right?
Right.
I always fall into this trap. Last year, I fell into this trap hard. Here's your budget. Buy stuff for your class. I'm like what though? I don't know.
Yeah. And
so this year, first thing on the budget is shovels. Boom. Perfect. Sometime over Thanksgiving break, gonna take a little tripsy to Lowe's and get some.
perfect.
I thought so.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna go get some shovels so we can just because last year again our maintenance director super kindly allowed us to borrow every shovel that he owned, himself personally.
Wow.
So, but I feel guilty about asking him to do that again.
Yeah.
Secondly, I don't want to be beholden to him to remember to bring them. Right.
Yeah.
Especially with that time of year where the weather's really nice one day and atrocious the next day. So there might be a time where okay, it's getting ready and I might just have to be today, go right now. Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of just want to have them on hand so I can go do that. So that's first purchase is some shovels. But it's been good this year because I don't know if we talked about this last week on the show, but I went scouring around inside the mystery science closet.
Yeah.
That's in the high school. So there's just a closet of science things over there.
Okay.
That's where the shake table thing is that I do my earthquake building deal on.
Oh, okay.
And so I was just poking around in there, and I asked the guy that teaches like physical science and some other stuff like the astronomy and all that stuff. I was like, are there any more rock samples in there? Because I saw a couple of random ones. And he's like, probably. Let me ask around. So he asked the 7th and 8th grade science teacher. And she dug in her closet. And he dug in his closet. And then I went digging in the science closet, which, again, incidentally, is the old dark room for photography.
I love that so
Hey.
so cool.
That's what it was. Susan told me that's what that was. That closet is. It's by it makes sense because it's by one of the science teachers, the 7th and 8th grade science teacher. Her room is in the old art room. And the closet is right next to that. So that kind of makes some sense.
Yeah.
Well, it's a darkroom closet. And so there's just all kinds of random shelving. And up on for some reason, somebody decided to put rock samples on the top shelf in this closet. I was like, hey, I wonder what's in this box. And I got it down and it is full of rocks. And these are old. These have been in this closet for I don't know how long. They have index cards that are been written on with a typewriter. And they're just sort of jammed in like some of them are in like mason jars, which I've never seen anybody put rock samples in mason jars before. It's very interesting.
Why not?
Just all over the place, shoved in there. Some of them have over time, over the course of decades, possibly been put in the wrong jar because I can look at some of them and go, "That's not what that's supposed to be. That doesn't match that card." So I've been trying to scour through them, pick through, discover what is good. I mean, they're all good, right? More rocks is good because, like, it's really handy that we like to be able to just get your hands on the stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So twice already we've had a rock show and tell time where we come back to the back part of the classroom there and pretend like we're in 2nd grade again. And we sit in a big circle on the floor and we just pass around rock samples and compare them and talk about them. Right. Yeah. So boom. Yeah.
Okay.
So doing that. That's what we've been doing. And then that's the big thing we've been doing. Mm-hmm. And the other decision I have to make is, do I really think I need to buy a rock hammer for myself? That's the real question we need to ask here.
Well,
do
I mean,
if Andy Dufresne can think of any uses of a rock hammer, I'm sure you can.
Now, I have learned this week, researching, trying to decide whether or not I need a rock hammer. Did you know that there are actually 2 distinct types of rock hammer available for purchase?
It did not.
You did not? Well, I have learned that there are 2 types. There is the pick and the chisel rock hammer. So there's the one, I'm pretty sure the one Andy Dufresne had was the pick hammer, right? However, I have also learned that these 2 hammers serve distinct purposes. So where if you are working in the field in a place where igneous rocks are prominent, then the pick hammer is the one for you because it's also called the hard rock hammer. So the pick allows you to break off and pry out pieces of harder rock, whereas the chiseled hammer also referred to as the soft rock hammer or masonry hammer, is for primarily sedimentary rock, which is interesting. Unaware of this. And so I went, oh yeah, I guess I need the chisel one then. I mean, if I was going to get one.
Hypothetically, if someone was going to buy one in your location for your purposes, they would need a chisel.
I would need a sedimentary rock hammer. So I'm trying to decide whether or not I need to spend money on one of those. But
what was it? What was it called again?
It was a rock hammer, is what you can just look for.
Geology tools.
Boom. Geology tools. There we go. Right?
Whoa. That one comes with a cool backpack.
Yeah, I don't think I need a backpack to travel to the front yard of the school. But if I was going on a longer trip, perhaps.
What about a 12-inch unbreakable 4-pound hammerhead? That sounds close.
Yeah. They also come in different sizes. They're distinguished by weight, apparently. I don't know what that means for me.
Dynamite.
I think the city might have a bit of a problem if I go blasting.
School appropriate?
Digging holes is one thing. Blasting holes in the front yard, probably frowned upon. Also not necessarily necessary in sedimentary rock formation. It's soft enough in the limestone that it'll probably just pop off if I hit it hard enough. It'll be fine.
Can I find a Bible that has a cutout hammer in it?
Maybe.
For those listeners who don't know what we're talking about, Shawshank Redemption reference.
Yes.
For all you cool people out there.
So yeah, that's what I've been thinking. I've been playing with rocks. I bought some more like a field guide, rock field guide thing. It was on sale, so I bought that. And then I've just been messing around with that stuff. I also did find another box of rocks previously unknown to me in my very own closet. However, it is just at school.
Not at home.
At school, not in my very own personal closet at home. Good point. But it is just a box of miscellaneous rocks and none of them are labeled. And so I'm just I don't know. Some of them are rather readily identifiable, but the other ones I'm like, what the heck is that? I don't know what that random thing is.
I remember going to my first, it was like teacher professional development day, and it was a geology lab thing. And I remember all the other teachers getting so excited about getting like free rocks. And some of the other teachers weren't even science teachers. And I was like, is this what teachers do? They just go and you get free rocks and it's like the best weekend ever.
Well, I mean, if it's hard to talk about the difference between like a sedimentary and a metamorphic rock. Like you can show them pictures all day long. Yeah. But they don't really, it's not the same as if you're holding a piece of, sandstone and a piece of like gneiss. Right, it's different, right? We can say, "Oh, look, this one has layers, but these layers are bendy." And so, you can because one of the biggest differences between, especially like a sedimentary and a metamorphic rock, is they feel different, right? They just feel different. Like this one's all weird and foliated and stuff. Like what? So it's been nice to have more things to just like, hey, we're just going to do more hands-on things here and just kind of get a feel for it. And it's nice because almost all, I think, or at least at the igneous rocks, in my notes and stuff, all the major igneous rocks, like just the big ones, like your granite, your obsidian, your, basalt, all that stuff.
Yeah.
I have those now.
Nice.
So I can be like, look. Basalt. Hooray. Like, look, granite.
Hooray.
Rhyolite. How exciting is that? So we might do a little, I don't know, some sort of matching activity, maybe with the actual rocks and the names. I might do that. I'm not sure. To be determined. After break, when we come back, just to kind of get us back in the swing before we start the sedimentary part. I think that's the order. I think it goes igneous, sedimentary, metamorph. Yeah, I think that's how it works. And then shoveling. Yes. Everyone's favorite activity.
Are you going to watch the movies Holes as inspiration?
Probably not. Again,
well.
the movie's a little long. Don't particularly love that movie. But so we do have to watch a movie coming up soon.
Oh.
Our little I learned yesterday, I guess, that our celebration thing for like positive behaviors, because we're the PBIS school now.
Oh yeah.
We do that positive behavior. I never remember what I stands for and support. So we whatever. We'd like do the tracking of the like, oh, you did this good. You followed all these directions. You get positive points. Or you didn't listen and didn't follow these directions, so you get negative points. It's like data tracking for behavior, basically.
Yeah.
But if you meet X percentage of positive total behaviors, we have like reward days once a quarter.
Mm-hmm.
So again, in a normal school year, we like go places like the Y or the world's worst one, the basketball game at Drury. Blah. That's so boring.
Basketball game? What?
Yeah, the last couple of years we've gone to it's like Drury has a kids day in like January. That's what we've used for our celebration is mostly because a couple of the teachers, specifically the 4th grade teachers, love Drury women's basketball very much. And so they're like, hey, we should go there. And nobody says no. And so we just go to this Drury with like 7,000 other kids. Oh, my, so terrible. But like by this time we were 6th grade, like the little kids like it a lot. But we've gone the last 2 years. So by the time they were 6th grade, most of them are like, okay, whatever. Except for like the 4 that really are into basketball, you know.
Yeah.
Or, well, not 4, but like, 6 to 8, they're like super into basketball. And the rest of them are like, cool. This is great fun. But this year we're going to do a movie day in the gym. What? So that's what we're going to do. So we have to find a movie to watch. So maybe Holes. It'll probably have to be Christmas themed. I imagine that was in the email that I read most of. But I don't think Holes is a Christmas movie.
Die Hard?
No.
Yes, that's true. Home Alone was bandied about. Maybe that one. I'm not sure either.
Maybe.
But was it?
Teach them how to terrorize others.
Yeah, they're already good at that though, so it's fine.
So real question though, side question.
Real question.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas, is it a Christmas movie or is it a Halloween movie? Go.
Well, being as that I've seen that movie one time. Yeah. I watched it once when I was younger and I don't really get it. I don't get the appeal. It's not really my speed. I was just kind of like, okay, that's cool. But it was not a movie that clicked with me. Like all these people are like, oh my gosh, it's the best movie. Sorry, listeners, if that's you, apologize. But I'm just not, it's really not into it. So I'm not sure. I would say it's a Christmas movie. But because that's the point. He wants to be Christmassy.
Yeah.
100%. But I don't know.
And
right?
It's a little funny because Halloween comes before Christmas, so the Nightmare Before Christmas, and it all sets in, and he's trying to become the Santa Claus or Santa Claus. Get it? Because it.
Yes, you get it.
Funny. It's good. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't.
Audience, comment down below with your thoughts and debate amongst yourself.
Maybe it's a Thanksgiving movie. Boom.
Which I
Halfway
actually
in the
saw
middle.
saw on Twitter somewhere that Charlie Brown's Thanksgiving and all the Christmas movies will be out on public release because I guess the deal fell through. With,
For sure?
Yeah.
No, they just backtracked on making it available.
Ah, boo.
So.
Yeah, I think they just made that one free to watch.
Well, don't listen to me then.
I think is what they said. I think that one is free on Apple because everyone's like, I hate you. Why are you ruining my life by taking Charlie Brown away from me?
Don't listen to
the last good thing in the world, Linus. You're just going to take him away. What is
it? Being honest with ourselves, Charlie Brown Thanksgiving is an awful movie.
Well, I agree. It's definitely one of the weakest specials. The Great Pumpkin is far superior in just about every way. But, you know, it's there. People watch it. It's only like 20 minutes long, so like it's not bad.
Right. You're not.
And so,
not the worst thing in the world.
Definitely not the worst thing in the world, but it is one of the weakest Peanuts features.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll go there. The voting one is actually super weak too. If we're honest, there's one about that. I can't remember. It's like you voted Charlie Brown or something like that. It's not. That was
There's another one there, like they're in France or something. Is that one?
Yeah, I don't remember what that one's called.
I don't remember.
I do remember that one. Though.
I didn't know that there was other like Charlie Brown specials out there. I only knew of the Christmas and the Pumpkin Patch and the Thanksgiving, and then I watched it on TV one time. I was like, is this a licensed Charlie Brown movie? I have never heard of this.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called though.
If
only I had
Charlie Brown.
That one. What's the one where they? Yeah, you're not like Charlie. I can't remember the other. What's the one? What if I Google Charlie Brown France? Bon Voyage Charlie Brown. Boom! Look at that. Yeah.
Wow.
Parenthesis and don't come back. Yes, I do recall. I do recall this one now.
Very important.
Yes.
But yeah, that one's okay. It's fine. The Christmas one's obviously the best one. Everyone knows. But
it is known.
It is known. So there we go. Mystery solved. Thank you.
Christmas is saved. You're welcome.
I don't think that was.
I don't think Bon Voyage Charlie Brown is the Christmas movie. Everyone's...
You're welcome.
Christmas
is.
Come back.
Sure.
Okay.
I only vaguely recall that one. I don't really know.
I have not seen that one.
I've seen it, but only like twice, maybe. It's one of those ones that I vaguely remember, kinda. Like one part. Like remember like one part only, and then the rest of it I'm like, huh? What? I don't remember this.
Maybe that's where some of your fever dreams of movie clips and TV segments come from. Like we talked about a couple episodes back, where you only have like you just remember that one snippet of something.
Yeah. 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 It definitely adds to it, right? Of the like, yeah. What is that part? Because that's the banding part. Is you have that one memory of like a piece of it. And you're like, I don't know what the rest of this is. Because like I just remember something in that Voyage Charlie Brown. There's like a house, and like goes out the window, and there's like a whole thing there, and that's the only part I really remember. And I have no context for the rest of it. I don't remember why they're in France. I have no idea what's going on. I don't.
No, that's about right. Yeah. Yeah, I just remember them being in France. No context of or remembrance of why. It's like, oh, France, neat, all right.
yeah, pretty much. Like, oh, cool.
This is now happening.
It's France time. How exciting. So, yes. That's it. So yes, Thanksgiving break at long last. Gotta find something to do. Probably play video games and get angry at them. Mostly.
What are you playing?
I decided to punish myself. I was like, well, I am finally going to play Sekiro. Oh gosh.
Oh,
Yeah. I got.
nice.
Yeah, it's something. It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Nobody's angry. It's okay.
This is fun. I have made a good choice.
I have made a choice. That's what I have done. It's one of those, like, it's really frustrating because it's like, it's one of the things I hate most about a lot of the Dark Souls games. It's made by the same people that make Dark Souls as the From Software people.
Okay.
They're like, oh yes, I love boss fights that are super long and have multi-stages. And if you get one thing wrong, you have to start the whole thing over. Oh, that's so fun and enjoyable. Like, the rest of it like feels really great and it's really fun. And they're like the exploring and the running around and the fighting random enemies is good. And some of the mini bosses are really fun. And a lot of the boss fights are fun. Right? Like mechanically they fun and make sense, but they're so long.
Yeah.
Because like in Dark Souls, you can combat this by like upgrading your stats and like bashing on the boss and do like mega damage, to kind of get through some of the attrition. This one doesn't really have that option, so you just have to like do it over and over and get the timing all down. And I know that's the point, but it's still like, why does this boss have 3 phases? Why?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
What mechanics make it fun? What makes this one maybe unique or interesting to you compared to
the moving around through the world is very satisfying. Like the running and jumping and grappling hooking and the stuff. And the combat is fun. It's very like timing based though. You know what I mean? So like on your normal enemies and your mini bosses, when they have like a handful of attacks, it's okay. You can be like, you kind of have to go, oh, it's this one, I need to run away, or it's this one, I need to just block, and I need to do these parries or whatever. But with the bosses, especially when they're really long ones, like by the 3rd phase, you've got all the boss's stuff down, and then the 3rd phase is like completely different. And you're like, well, in order to practice the 3rd phase, I have to get to it reliably, which you can't do. Yeah. And then I got...
Yeah, that'd be
so. But a lot of the stuff like the art design and like the cool environmental storytelling stuff is really cool. It's really satisfying to just like run around and play. But some of the boss fights, you're like, why is this so terrible? That's where I'm in mentally currently with the. It's probably only going to get worse because I'm like halfway through. So that means the ones at the end will be even more terrible.
No, just think of how much better you'll be at them.
Yeah, that's the plan. It's probably not going to work out that way though. Because I know. Oh well.
I had to look up a term you use there. I had not heard of it before, but it totally makes sense in game context. Environmental storytelling. I had no idea what that meant, and I'm like, why are they talking about like the environment is like coming from my context and background of like the ecology,
fishes,
or like the trees, and you're like, no, this is how objects are arranged next to each other to further the story visually. Mechanically. And I was like, okay, that totally makes a lot more sense, and I was really confused for a minute.
Well, part of it is too, they do things with the like, they do play with like the actual like natural and like the quote unquote game ecology, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Like that space is always very interesting, the way they do stuff. But yeah, it's where how they place objects and like things that are just around, not even necessarily like interactable things, but like stuff that's just there that you notice and you go, oh, why is that there? Okay. And you like dialogue or something sort of vaguely explains to you what's happening, or what things are put next to each other, and it kind of makes some modicum of sense in the game land. Yes. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm tracking with you now. That's good.
It's an extra layer of storytelling medium there.
Yeah.
To add to things.
Sure. I guess maybe what's an example of good environmental storytelling versus bad?
I don't know. So like bad would just be like when
Aaron, are you hammering in the back? Is someone hammering?
No, someone's hammering. Don't worry.
Okay. Anyway, bad environmental storytelling is like probably when they just exposit everything at you, everything, and there's like, oh hey, blah 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 blah, and there's not a chance for you to, because a lot of the thing about video games is the story. What makes them kind of different is the story is there as much as you want it to be. You know what I mean? So like in a game like Sekiro or like Dark Souls or something, like you can go through and read every little item description and like look at everything possible and get more stuff out of it. Sure. You know, and just like little stuff's inferred, right? Like, oh, well, this item is in this boat that the bandits used. That's interesting that would be there. Or like, oh, here's this giant, like, there's a giant snake in Sekiro, like a big giant monster snake thing. And like randomly around, there's just like a snake skin hanging in a tree. And you're like, oh, that's cool. So that means it comes over here and does stuff, right? In a game like Red Dead Redemption 2, like around the camp, there's just like stuff, like where people's tents are next to each other. Like you can tell, like, oh, these people get along well because their tents are close by, and there's that other guy whose tent's over there, and you know he wants to be away from everybody, or that kind of stuff, or where they move, or what kind of stuff they leave around outside their tent. You know, like it goes with their character. You know, so it's just kind of those little extra details that bring environments, make them more believable in a story, I think, instead of just like random, you know, whoever knows, whatever junk is just laying on the floor, like whatever. Games like Fallout do a really good job too, because there's like, okay, that item is here for like a reason. Like it's not just like around, like it's.
Yeah, well, it sounds a lot like the difference between what like museums used to be, or just a collection of like books that
it's like random stuff in a cabinet.
Versus like a diorama where you can see, oh, okay, this is how this was held, this is what this looked like, this is what color it was, and look at these things.
Yeah, it's almost like a more curated instead of just like blah. Although, you know, some games use the blah setting because that also gives off a certain environmental image.
Sure.
Right. Sure. So it's got its places, but
yeah. Well, it's like in TV, like in TV cop dramas, a lot of times it's the as you know, Bob, of course, you know, they're on vacation or whatever, and you know, kind of this moving it along through quick exposition.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas otherwise in a different sort of medium, it would just be implied. Because like in a video game, you would find like a date on a calendar circled and like ticket receipts or something like that. That's how you would know he was gone. But you don't have the time in a television show to do that. Yes. So you have to become exposited at, which nobody likes.
Moving along.
Exactly. Moving along the story.
Yeah.
Let's go, y'all. So yeah, anyway, that's my big plans. And that's kind of it.
Fun.
Recover from the mental anguish of we discussed a couple of weeks ago, just the constant state of people around, always, all day, sixth graders everywhere. So it's like it's a bit of a nice mental break of just like,
yeah, sure.
Look, it's quiet. Wow.
So the world can be quiet. Look at that.
Yes, it's possible.
Possible to be quiet.
Indeed.
Oh, well,
Mm.
that's nice. We haven't had a whole lot going on here. We were crazy busy with dogs last week, like insanely busy. Lots and lots of dogs. And then over Thanksgiving, nothing, which is fine. That's okay. I'm cool with that. It's just interesting how, like, tomorrow we have 8 dogs, and then Thursday we have one dog in addition to Kobe. And you're like, this is weird.
Well, yes, I meant other dog.
Kobe's always.
That's weird that tomorrow you have a bunch.
Yeah. I know. But whatever. People are doing different days. Yes, I don't know.
Well, yeah, but like, it's just weird that it's all in that day instead.
Yeah.
It's very odd. It's just for one day, not like.
Yep.
Oh.
We have I'll say this. We have 8 dogs in our house tomorrow, and all but one goes home.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Really weird. And we've started doing daycares for a guy that works at Hobby Lobby, and so he has these crazy shifts. So like, he's working Black Friday, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to drop my dog off, and then I'm not going to be here for like 12."
Oh, yeah.
I'm so sorry, dude.
I forget about Black Friday because that's not a thing I ever participate in. So I don't often think about it until someone mentions it, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, that's a thing."
That's happening.
Right. I will make doubly sure to avoid people that day.
Again, the only context that I have, because I've never done it personally, like the only context I have is like extremely negative, right? From like news or like, old ladies getting a fist fight over the last Tickle Me Elmo, right? That's what I remember about it.
That is true. I do remember the fist fights over Tickle Me Elmo and Cabbage Patch Dolls.
Yeah.
I remember that very, very clearly. I can't tell you what people are getting fist fights over these days. It just
PS5s, I think. That's what.
Did you hear that they are legitimately sold out?
Yeah.
Did you hear that?
For some,
Sony came.
Well, yeah. For some, well, I mean, yes. Totally not on purpose. Limited early release or limited release at the beginning. Yeah, totally not to drive demand for their. Yeah. Definitely not artificially creating demand by totally underestimate. Yeah, because what giant company like that, like, oh, we underestimated the amount of people that would be interested in our product by thousands. Like, yeah. No, you did not. Either. You did not.
Yeah. I was shocked by that when I saw
You
that.
want to play that Demon Souls remake, man? That's what they want. So yeah, I never buy video game things the release day, or usually even the release year. Like, I wait a little bit because usually the first one is the first iteration of the new one is not the best one.
Right.
And in like 2 years it will be cheaper anyway. So like,
well, and especially because they've gotten into this, not necessarily TikTok, but because they do stretch it, right? They'll do different form factors. They'll do a slim. They'll do different bundles and packages with them over time. So yeah, if you're like, well, I know it's going to be cheaper here in a little bit. So
yeah, or the last Xbox that came out, right? The first one, it didn't have any memory in it. What are you doing? Stop it! Like, what the heck? So I waited and bought the one that had like a lot more memory for stuff. But I was like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? So, but yeah, I just wait. It's fine. There's nothing that I'm be like, oh my gosh, if I don't play it right now, I'm just gonna like. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll be there later. It's all right.
I still can't get over its size and its shape. It looks it's very trippy to me. Look at
it's very weird.
Yeah.
It is more aesthetically pleasing than the Xbox thing, though.
Well,
it's like a giant rectangle. That's it. It's like a huge, right? It's enormous, and it's just a rectangle. Like it's so big. Like what? I was thinking to myself, like, where would I put that even? I don't even I have room for that thing in here. What the heck, man? Like a giant vertical, looks like an old PC tower. Like what the?
Well, that was
where you putting that thing?
Yeah, where people were having to look at their entertainment centers and TV stands and be like, "Huh, where does this thing go now?"
Yeah, it doesn't go on mine. Won't fit in there.
I don't understand it. But
yeah, I don't either. But whatever. Like, it's fine, I guess. But it is weird though. Thinking about this because I've also been playing the Tony Hawk remake. I finally bought that, by the way.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great. But the thing about the hardware and the powers in like the video games that you remember, right? Because you're like, oh man, I remember all this stuff, right? But obviously the graphical fidelity is like infinitely better than the one that came out in like 1999 or whatever. But you don't really realize like how much better really in your mind, right? Because in your mind, you've like, at least in my mind, like because I have continually been involved in playing video games, and we'll just take the Tony Hawk franchise in itself. I have played a bunch of them, right? Not all of them, obviously, but a lot. Up until like, I don't know, a couple ago, I would just buy them because I used to buy them used. Like, oh yeah, let's check this one out. The used games or whatever. So I've played tons of them, but because you like play them incrementally as they get better over the years, you kind of forget what the first one looks like. And so I'm playing the remake, right? And I watched a video that was comparing the old one, like the first one, and I went, "What?" Like the polygon shapes are the thing that you would remember being different, because like that one was like, I remember that, like that the character models didn't look great, that some of the animations were really weird and stiff. The thing that is absurd is the draw distance that you can see forward in the game.
Oh,
because like in the old games, it would be like, oh, you can see up to that point, and that was the processing power of that console. And then it was sort of like foggy, like. And so when you watch those old videos, it's like it feels like you're in this actual fog. It's like, how did I ever find any of this stuff, right? Because you can't see it at all until you're like really close to it. It's like, how did you ever get any collectibles? Because it's like
you have to be right on
so impossible to see farther distances because the hardware can't render the game that far away, or it explodes because it can't deal with it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point, because I know sometimes, I know myself included, how you can say, okay, well, it just looks better, but that doesn't affect gameplay. But when you put it in this context of like, well, actually now you can start putting things on the horizon, things, broadening that world, giving you better context and putting things out. So, you will go find them easier than just by pure happenstance.
Yes. So that was one of the things I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And it also makes sense why a lot of those first levels, or several of the levels in Tony Hawk 1 are inside of buildings. Right? Because you can limit that.
You don't have skyline to not render. You
don't have skylines, or all of them are enclosed, but like the couple of the really big ones that are outside, like you go, I saw the videos of those ones, like, whoa, how did you do? I would never figure that out because you can't see it.
Right. Yeah.
So that was a little eye opening. It's like, wow, there we go.
Great.
It's true. And I think the other thing is that made it hard for me to realize that is because a lot of those levels they've remade over the course of time, right? So you played them again in a different iteration from the first one. So maybe that's the one that you remember, you know what I mean? And not the actual first one. So it's like, oh no, that's way worse than I remember it being. Oh well, whoopsie.
Yeah, right. You're not playing that first one anymore, so
yeah,
doesn't really matter, I guess. But
yeah, the feel is there. That's fine, but
sure.
the actual execution is far superior.
Yeah, and that's what we're after at the end of the day. Most times.
Yes, really. I just want to do absurdly impossible skateboard tricks. That's it. That's all I want.
And
impossible combos and silly things. Yes, perfect.
All I want in life.
Mm-hmm. It is true. And to beat Sekiro bosses. Dang it.
Good time. Did either of you guys do the did we ever finalize the homework that we nominally talked about last time?
Yes.
We did. Okay.
Did you do the homework?
I did.
Oh. I did not.
Oh, Aaron's a no homework boy this time.
Nope.
Well, that's all right. We will fill you in, Aaron.
Perfect.
All the glory that is James May's O Cook.
You know, so like I said last time, I've never watched. The only baking show or like cooking show I'd ever watched was like really wasn't one that, you know, Gordon Ramsay yelling at people, and even then I never really watched the full.
Did you ever watch any of those old Julia Child shows?
Well, yeah. So I remember watching that, you know, watching her cook, but that was it. So there you go. My experience in the cooking world is Julia Child and Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, like,
two very opposite ends of the spectrum. However, an excellent epic rap battle of history if you're interested.
It
Gordon
is,
Ramsay
yes,
versus Julia Child.
I was about to make a comment on that. Yes, very nice.
Oh no.
Anyway, continue. No, it's so good. Like it's fantastic.
Oh, but
side note: when I logged back onto Amazon to watch that, it had recommended me like 15 Bollywood movies that I had to watch.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
There's a billion of them in my things. Like, maybe you should watch this. You're like, oh wait, oh yeah.
I have much to go right
yeah, probably not going to watch all those, but I just thought it was really funny that it was like, hey, you still want to watch these?
Anyway,
like,
remember these that you moved on from?
Remember these? They're so good.
Yeah.
That was hysterical. So I just thought I'd share that as well.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, no, I'm obviously a big fan of James May and anything that he has to do. So, you know, this was really interesting. I liked kind of the conceit of it, being, you know, he was paid to make a cookbook and he's cooking recipes from it as part of this. But I absolutely love the one part that always gets me is when he goes back and he gets the help to to come in.
Oh yeah, from the closet
to do the cooking. That bit that he does.
That's pretty funny.
He's like, he needs help, and you can see that look on his face where he's like,
yes. Oh no!
Right? And he steps aside.
I need assistance.
I need assistance. Right? And he calls for her. It was. I like that part of it a lot. You know, the actual cooking stuff. You know, I seemed great. It was nice to have something that was kind of being much more tongue in cheek, and being presented in that. I haven't watched very many cooking shows. The what I hear about them is that, or they tend to be very presented in a very serious manner, very polished manner. This was almost irreverent towards the cooking show as a whole. Not overt.
Yeah, that's I agree.
Right, not overtly in any way of like middle finger up to it, but like that. But just it was very like, yes, we know, we all know what these kind of shows are. We're not doing that.
Well, yeah, and he shows that in a couple, because there's a couple of that I watched where, especially like, I think it was the breakfast one, where there was one part he's like, I'm going to show you how to make this by showing you how I screwed it up. And it just goes through and it totally shows him like screwing up the thing. He's like, no, this is terrible. This is absolutely awful and I don't like it. And then throwing it in the bin. Like, get out. So that's a good, that's a good example of that. It's like, well, this is how it should have worked, but it didn't this time. Oh, well. I also like the part where he does the, like, I can't remember what he called it. I didn't write any notes down. This is a very informal review.
Yeah.
The part where he's like, oh, yeah, you take these random things that you have in your cabinet and make a thing, right? So he had that part where he was like, I'm just going to take this thing in the cabinet and this random junk and make something and see if it's good or not. And
I did. Yeah, because he did that with Spam, and it reminded me.
The Spam noodle. Yeah,
the Spam noodle. It reminded me of the the motorhome challenge on Top Gear where he.
Oh yes,
he's cooking Spam and oh my gosh, the big fire erupts. In
Hammond's the house,
thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's cooking Hammond's making his little dessert thingy, and it goes all wrong. Pudding. Yeah. Yes.
I had a flashback to that while he was cutting the ham, and I was like, "Oh,
that's true."
I know this one.
James May is mildly obsessed with Spam. If you've ever seen him do anything, or even like Food Tribe on the YouTube random cooking thing he does, like it's definitely like. Man, this guy really likes Spam like a lot. Yeah. It's weird. But I mean, so it was that was the cool stuff. Like, I'm gonna make this thing with some just random stuff that you already have in your house, probably. What can you do with it? Like that. It did make it more. It felt much more accessible than like other cooking shows that you watch. And I think that's too is the kind of the overall message of all of the episodes was like, yeah, like there's not any really actual rules for cooking. You just kind of go with it, and see what happens, and that's okay. Like that was kind of the message. Was like, it's fine. It might not be the best thing ever, but it'll be edible and it'll be okay. Like, just try it again next time. Like it's fine. Don't worry about it. Just give it a shot. A lot of cooking is winging it, and then you see what happens.
Yeah,
and it's usually not presented in that accessible manner. It's like, oh, it have to be like exactly like this, and it's got to be like amazing. Mm-hmm. And he's just kind of like, maybe it's.
Well, and even like on that Spam one where he coats them in, forget what he coats them in.
Cornflakes, I think, right?
Yeah, cornflakes or something. And he fries them, and he like legitimately burns it, and everyone's like,
"Oh yeah,
you burned that," and he's like, "No, it's not." And then there's a really awkward cutscene, and they're not burnt anymore.
Oh yeah, and there's like brand new, totally unburnt ones. And he's like,
Yeah.
"See, I have no idea what you're talking about. These aren't burnt at all. Look at it." Yes, that one's pretty good.
Like you said, making it a lot more accessible, and that these things happen, and just to do it right, and not do it right, but to do it, right? And question mark. I didn't say that.
Mhm.
Anyway, but just to do something and try it.
Yeah, and there's, he always jokingly, most of the times, like, "Oh, now here's the great controversy," and he talks about like how people disagree on how to make like X thing, And so a couple of times he's like, "We're gonna do it both ways and see what happens." Like the pasta one, he makes the pastas like two different ways, and he's like, "They're both fine." Like, so kind of the takeaway is like, shut up and eat the pasta, man. It's fine. Don't worry about it so much. It's like, just do it. It's okay.
Yeah, don't get caught up in that. And or if you've always been in one camp, try the other one.
Yeah. Now I will say, it is interesting to see, because again, most of my cooking show exposure has been with American chefs. So there are very, very, very great many extraordinarily British things that happen on this show, right? Like, it makes lots of things that you're like they're rather atypical for like lots of American things, right? There's like, because he makes like the pie one, for example, is what I would think about, right? So he makes pies,
right?
But like British meat pies, a
vegetable pie,
yeah. But that's in other places that is a very staple thing, right? England is one, Australia, they have a lot of that stuff because it's very influenced by English cooking, obviously. But like in America, I guess chicken pot pie would be the only thing that I could really think of, and like, I don't actually like chicken pot pie. I have had like an English pie before, and it was like amazing. So it's just not something that I was exposed to very much before. So that stuff like that is very interesting because he's like, "Oh yes, a staple dish," and you're like, "What?" So seeing that span and kind of learning about just different things, or so that anybody can just be like, "Oh, that looks good. Let me try that. What's that like?" Is a little different and an interesting take on it. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Well, yeah, I was going to add just do that on those segments where he's like, anything in your cupboard, we're going to make something. There were a few items in there that I was like, I don't think any of those items are in an American cupboard.
Well, that's also true. There's a couple of them. They're like that. Like, wait, what? You have what in your cupboard? What are we talking about?
I know. I was like, no, I don't have anchovies just sitting in my cupboard. Why would you?
Yeah. I mean, some people do. We have sardines, I think, somewhere. But it's similar, small fish in a tin. So maybe. But yeah, there's a couple things like, I don't have that. What are you talking about? Some of it are like, oh, a can of tomatoes. I'm like, okay, yeah, okay, through tomato sauce or whatever. Like, yeah, I probably have that. Like, or can get relatively easily, easy access to it. And some of the other one that I thought was particularly interesting was the breakfast one. Did you see that one? Did you watch that one at all?
Yeah, I think that was one of the first ones, wasn't it? Maybe.
No, it's one of the last ones.
Oh,
I skipped to that one because I don't like roast. I don't like, well, one of them, the other one was like a puddings, right?
Yeah.
I don't like English pudding.
Yeah.
That one, I watched part of that one and I was only kind of half paying attention. So I don't really know what was going on the whole time because English pudding is something I'm extraordinarily unfamiliar with, not being English. So I don't, I have no real context. And most of those ingredients I do not have ready access to, right? Like I don't just have that laying around. can't find it in the local grocery store, So like that one was a little bit out there. But like the breakfast one, like, oh yeah, we're gonna make smoked or like poached fish and egg and like rice and whatever. Like what?
Yeah.
What? Wow.
I don't even need that.
Okay, I guess. Like,
yeah.
But again, like it's interesting just from a viewpoint of like depending on where it's very depending on where you live, right? So if you live in a certain area, when you think breakfast,
right,
there are very specific things that come to mind. You know what I mean? Like very specific things. So as an American, when you think breakfast, there's certain foods that come to your mind. Poached fish, not necessarily at the top of that list. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying regionally, or like according to your country, you eat different stuff. Like just different things are okay. And even in the U.S., like very regional, like what is acceptable for breakfast. Like the Southwest and the West Coast do not have biscuits and gravy on the breakfast menu anywhere. You know what I mean? That's like a Southern/Midwestern thing. So it's different. And so it's just, I say it's kind of cool to be exposed to things that other people would eat for breakfast or consider breakfast foods.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are different. Because when you get presented with like that or other things that are breakfasty, because like, traditional English breakfast is even like, why would I want beans on my egg? Oh, nope, I do want that. Never mind. Yes, thank you. I want that.
More.
Or like Indian breakfast, right? With all the vegetables and the rice and stuff. It's very like, do I really want that for breakfast? And you eat it and you go, yes, actually, I do not hate this. This is very nice. So it's just, it's just kind of cool, kind of thinking about that kind of stuff. Like, what other things are you, like, how are you limiting yourself during your meal choices, right? Like, what other stuff could you be eating instead? What outside of your little comfort zone of breakfast is cereal or pancakes or waffles or toast or eggs in some form. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of like in the United States, right? Like North America, that's kind of your breakfast, right? That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Like that's what most people think of when they think of breakfast. Now, regionally, you have other things like I said, biscuits and gravy, or in the Southwest, like chorizo things or whatever. But like nominally, those kind of things are your predominant breakfast foods. Whereas, like I said, poached fish and rice, not high on the list of mine, but I'd be willing to try it for sure. Like that'd be, it looked good, but
well, and seeing how things are made like that, I don't know. For me, helped me go, oh, okay, yeah, I would actually like that. Or it's more interesting knowing, like, going from ingredients to plate versus it just showing up in front of you, because that's where my brain.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'm interested in this. It doesn't look that good. Blah blah. But watching the process, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I would actually really. Please.
Well, yeah, because you get to see that ingredient go and you're like, oh, but I like that thing. And you see something else like, oh, I like that thing too. Oh, well, look at that. Like, so, yeah, that was kind of the big, especially that episode kind of highlighted that for me. It's like, oh, yeah, these are other things you can eat. Or like, a lot of people eat eggs, but a lot of people eat eggs one fashion only forever, right? Like that's it. They don't have the variety in their egg diet. I mean, they are incredible. So you gotta get,
and they're pretty edible.
I've heard that. So you need to branch out and try them. At least try it. And now I will agree that making eggs in those variety of ways is a bit daunting. right? Because even something like an egg, you can make it infinite ways. Most people can make it one or two, and the rest of them are kind of like mysterious, like the mysterious poached egg. Like,
Right.
how do you really poach an egg?
Oh,
like,
man.
what?
Do you remember the egg poacher that we had growing up? It was white, and you could crack the egg
Yes.
into one, and then you put like how much water you put in and how long you did it. Who knows? Who knows?
Yes, mysterious.
Anyway,
It was only until several years ago where I saw somebody poach an egg on a stovetop in a pot, and was like, "What are you doing? Like, what is happening? How is that working?" And I think that was even on like online on a cooking show or something. I was like, "What? That's how you're supposed to do it?" Oh, I didn't know that. Like, because yeah, I can scramble eggs. I can fry them. Boom, done. That's all I got. Like, I have no.
Hard boiled. You can hard boil them.
I could probably hard boil an egg. That in and of itself is not too difficult. But okay, maybe I've never actually done it though. So let's not jump to conclusions.
Okay.
But I can't.
It is a hypothetical possibility that you understand.
Hypothetical possibility that I could do that.
You understand the concept of what it means to hard boil one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even it took me a while to realize that, if you want to like make an egg that's just like sunny side up, you just put it in the pan and then put the lid on it.
Right.
Done. Like,
yeah. And
that thought was like, because I can actually not cook anything, right? I don't cook anything ever. That revelation was like, just a mind-boggling in and of itself. It was like, whoa, that's different than frying an egg, because then
there's no flipping.
So, like, yeah, that little realization of how that works is like, whoa.
Yeah.
Cooking mystery solved.
Where's my show? Right?
Mm-hmm. It'd be the actual worst cooking show of all time. No one would watch that. That would be terrible.
I know.
Just me being very confused and making inedible things, or just sandwiches. Like, this week's sandwich is.
Well, let's see here. I still don't have any different ingredients from last week, so
yes. So,
and the lettuce is a bit wilty, so we're not going to have lettuce this week.
I gotta throw that out. Whoopsie daisy.
Tomato, ham, and slice of this American cheese.
Yes. So yeah, you can see how not exciting this would be for people to watch. Wouldn't be very good at all.
Yeah. So again, I really like this. I go in pre-biased because it has James May.
That is fair.
And I will watch just about anything. I've watched everything James May has done in a in a video format. So
yes,
but seeing him in this environment and how it was shot, and also again knowing how others tend to be shot and run, it was very enjoyable to watch that and see again that it was a tongue in cheek, really pointed at how those typical cooking shows are done. Because again, he was saying, I don't know how to cook, but I will say, side note, I don't believe that given how he was in the kitchen. Okay, I'm just gonna say, I don't think.
Well, he does caveat that, right? He says like, I know he's at the first episode.
Yeah,
he kind of says, I can't cook. He's like, actually, that's not true. He's like, I can make about 5 things reasonably well.
Yeah,
it's like using my logic, that means I should be able to make other stuff passably well. Also, let's find out if that's true. That's kind of the gist of the whole show, right? Is
sure.
I'm reasonably competent with these, like, a couple things that I know how to make. But those skills in cooking are very transferable to other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just kind of the willingness to be like, oh, I'm just gonna try that, see what happens if I do this, or let's try this one out, see, like. That's, I think, the point of the show is to make it more, just feel more accessible. Because for a lot of people, myself included, cooking kind of feels like mystery, right? Like how do you do that? Like,
Cooking.
How do you know that's what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, that's true.
So I think just the kind of the lackadaisical approach and the like laissez-faire attitude of like, we're just going to throw this in there and see what happens is kind of positive for a lot of people to see that and go, oh, it's not like a mysterious, thing after all. You don't have to like study in a cave with a wizard, right? And like,
yeah,
like knowledge bequeathed unto you from some sort of like higher level master, right? You can just sort of wing it and figure it out. Like,
yeah, again,
I think that's
that hard.
The point. Yeah. I mean, in theory, again, you can say that in theory. If I try it, probably have some different results. But
so listeners, Oh Brother Cooking Show coming to you spring 2021. YouTube channel. Have a look at it for some hot drops.
Oh dear, I don't know about that.
Smash that like and subscribe button, fam.
There we go.
I don't know what people say.
Yeah, I think so. I guess.
Well, no, but
Not sure.
did. So I watched the first. I binged like the first 4, and then I was in our kitchen and I was like, "Huh, I put my phone here. I could no. Moving away.
It's coming. I see it. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be great.
We're not doing that. So anyway, I enjoyed it. Aaron,
yes.
You should watch it. Watch it, Aaron.
We're about to get to my list. Don't worry.
At least watch like one of them. I would just pick one that sounds interesting and just watch it because they're broken down by like again, I don't like roast, so I didn't really pay. I watched part of it, but I didn't really pay close attention because I don't like roast. I don't like roast anything. Doesn't matter. I think he roasted chicken. That sounds slightly better, but like classic, like I'm gonna throw all the stuff in a pan and put it in the oven and roast. I'm not into that at all. I don't like it. Not even a little bit. So I just watched one that you think is kind of interesting sounding. The Asian fusion one is probably one of the most interesting.
I like the
fusion one. Just because he just kind of goes ham on like all kinds of stuff. He's like, we're going to try this out and throw this stuff in here. I like that one. And the curry one was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that was another really good one.
That one made me really, really hungry for some curry, which ticked me off because the closest curry to us 2 hours away. That's not fair.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so the episodes are entitled, this will help Aaron to decide, and the listeners, if they are interested too. The first one is called Asian Fusion. The second one is Pub Classics. So that one is English pub food, obviously. The third one is Pasta. That's the other good one. I like that one too. And then 4 is Curry. 5 is Pudding. Again, that's traditional English pudding. So not super interested in most of that. 6 was Breakfast and 7 was Roast. So I liked the breakfast one, the curry one, the pasta one, and the Asian fusion. Probably my favorite ones, but the pub classic one was good too. And maybe I should watch the pudding one again because I barely remember what happened in that one. So
yeah, I liked the pub one, mostly for for the pie that he does there. That was really good. Seeing him.
That's true. It did make me want another one of those because I haven't had one in a long time now, and that is not a staple American food. Is meat pie,
nope.
At all. Like you can't even find them most of the places, like anywhere, unless you somehow stumble upon like a English restaurant,
right?
Of which there aren't too many, and most of them are just like, yeah, we have fish and chips. Like, okay, fine. That's kind of the extent that they go.
Yeah.
More to it than that, but whatever.
Yeah. No, just fish and chips only. That's all it is. I apologize to all of our UK listeners right now. I'm being so horrible about that. I'm sorry.
I will say some exciting news on that front. We Inside Baseball here. The podcast just got listed on India's #1 platform for podcasting.
For real?
Yeah, I just got it.
Hey.
Yo, India.
Pushed over. So it's called Ghana, Gaana. I think it's Ghana or Guyana, something like that. But yeah, so we just that happened earlier this week. So here you go.
Wow, that's exciting. I do love you, India. Very fond of the food. Regional food is excellent, and I am a fan of a lot of your movies. Colin still hasn't finished his homework from that episode, so
a while back.
We're sorry about that, but I, love it. Maybe that's what I'll do over Thanksgiving break. Maybe I'll watch some more Indian cinema.
Yeah.
Take a break from my angry boss battles. Sticking good Nichiro. Okay.
Anyway, happy times. But yeah. So I just thought I'd throw that out there so we can.
That's pretty rad.
Yeah.
All right.
I was like,
I like it.
Little button to click, and I was like, yes, of course. So, anyway, that's all the news on that front.
Pretty cool. Here we go. Hello, India. How's it going?
Well,
I think it's it for today, huh?
I think that's just about it.
All right.
So I'm gonna go scrub some floors.
Ooh, that's
finish up
nice.
laundry.
Fun.
Yeah,
it's a perpetual battle. Laundry, and we have to clean up too, since it's time for stuff. So
People are coming over, geese.
Yeah, some random dudes coming to my house.
Hello.
Yeah.
Weirdo.
I know.
Very.
Get some fingerprints. Check his ID at the door.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds hard.
Just gonna try to clean up all the dog food off the floor for you. He's got.
Oh no, that adds to the aesthetic of it. I'm sure Charlie would be very distraught if he did that.
He's been getting his food stuck on his face when he eats, and so he'll just like walk around and just like falls off, and it's just like, oh.
Poor Charlie,
poor Chuck. Oh no,
poor guy.
Yes, it's really funny though. It's like, why is there more food everywhere? So I gotta see if we can figure out what to do to help him eat a little better. He's a very messy boy currently. I don't know what's going on.
Spray some Pam on his face before he eats. Just thick.
No, I think we might need to raise up his bowl just a little bit.
Oh, is he having to hunch over too far for it?
Yeah, I think that might be the problem. Because I think when he hunches down, he's shoving his whole face in there.
Oh, okay.
We're going to try to find something that's just like, but he's still a very short dog, right? So, like, a stool is not. He's just a little spaniel. So, like, just like an inch or two off the floor
I was gonna say,
might help him.
Find your three least favorite books.
That's true. Put that in there.
Prop it up.
Say, here's this random paperback that I bought, and I can't tell you anything about it, so it must have been great.
Enjoy.
But yeah, we're going to try that, see if that helps him out. See if he's hunching over too far. Because I think that's what he's doing. I think he's hunching down, and he's like shoving his face in there, and it's just getting all over him. So,
poor Chuckles.
Yes. I think he's got to eat his food mixed with the yogurt because it helps him chew it since he doesn't have teeth, very much teeth. And it really has helped his stomach a lot. So, and he loves it. So, like, just like
so many positives there, right?
So many positive. Mostly he's just like all about it. Like, yes, more. But the fact that he's shoving his face in there makes him an extremely messy boy. After like his chin is just like completely covered with yogurt. Yeah. So
I expect an update on the yogurt-faced dog next time.
yes, just try to find something that fits under there. I don't know what yet, but
You have your mission.
on the hunt.
This,
Yes. Na-na-na.
this message will self-destruct.
Ah, no.
Okay. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.